Today we will start the new chapter, that is ray optics and optical instruments. Okay. Ray optics and optical instruments. Ray optics and optical instruments. So here we will discuss about the light as a, we are considering light as a ray, and by using that we are dealing with some of the properties. Okay. So first, among them first is that reflection of light. Reflection of light. So what is meant by this reflection? Reflection means bouncing back of light from a smooth or highly polished surface, that is known as reflection of light. This already you have studied in smaller classes, that is, if a plane mirror is there, so if light is incident, this is our incident ray, so we can write it as incident ray. So the angle made is known as angle of incidence. So that light will be reflected in such a way that it will make the same angle. This angle also will be, this angle will call it as angle of reflection, and this will be equal to angle of incidence. Okay. This is reflected ray. And this is the normal. So whenever reflection means bouncing back of light. So whenever reflection is taking place, it obeys certain laws that are known as laws of reflection. So first law says that the incident ray reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lie on the same plane. The first law says that the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all lie on the same plane. That is clear from this diagram only. No? And second law says that angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. Angle of reflection is equal to angle of incidence. This is about second law. Okay, is it clear? So these are about the laws of reflection of light. Okay. Next we will discuss about spherical mirrors. The spherical mirrors means those mirrors that can be considered as a part of a sphere. And these spherical mirrors we can classify into two, either concave mirror or convex mirror. And concave mirror we are showing like this, and convex mirror, that is, in the case of concave mirror we can say that the reflecting surface, this is a reflecting surface, the reflecting surface is curved inwards. And in the case of convex mirror, we can say that reflecting surface is curved outward. Okay. So there will be a bulging inside. If you touch that convex surface, convex mirror, you can identify it. And if you touch a concave mirror, you can see that it will be curved inward. Or if you are seeing a spoon, okay, spoons, that inner surface, no, by which you are taking that something. So that can be considered as concave surface, and if you turn the spoon back, that will be a convex surface. Okay. So whenever we are dealing with spherical mirrors, there are some terms that you should know. First one is pole, terms related to mirrors. We will discuss the terms. Okay. Some terms. Pole. What is meant by pole? Pole is the center point of the middle point of the mirror is known as pole. Okay. Next one is center of curvature. So this mirror can be imagined as a part of a sphere, and the center of that sphere is known as center of curvature, and the pole is represented by the letter P, and center of curvature we are using the letter C to represent. Then principal axis. Principal axis is a straight line passing through pole and center of curvature. If you are considering a straight line passing through pole and center of curvature, that we can say it as principal axis. Okay. Is it clear? Straight line or line passing through both pole and center of curvature is known as principal axis. And next one is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature means the radius of that sphere. Okay. Or we can say that the distance between C and P. Radius of the sphere. That is known as radius of curvature. Then focus. Focus means if we are considering spherical mirror, concave mirror if we are considering, rays parallel to principal axis. Those rays parallel to principal axis after reflection from the mirror passes through a point on the principal axis. Okay. And that point is known as focus. Rays parallel to principal axis after reflection passes through a point on the principal axis, and that point is known as focus. Okay. Is it clear? And focal length. Next one is focal length. Focal length means it is the distance between focus and pole. The distance between focus and pole is known as focal length. Okay. Then linear aperture. Linear aperture. Linear aperture of a mirror means, if this is our plane mirror, this is our spherical mirror, the straight line distance, the distance between the ends of the mirror, that is known as linear aperture. Okay, that is linear aperture. So this distance, if we are marking it as AB, the end points, distance between the end points, that we can say as linear aperture. And next we can say it as angular aperture. Angular aperture means the angle made by the linear aperture at the center. This angle is known as angular aperture. Okay. So these are the terms related to spherical mirrors, and these all terms are applicable for convex mirror also, but only one difference is that in the case of focus, we will define in such a way that rays parallel to principal axis after reflection appear to come from focus. Here the rays are actually meeting, there we will say that appear to come from point on the principal axis, and that point is known as focus. Okay, that's only the difference between concave and convex mirror. remaining all terms are same. Okay. Now we can see the relation between R and F. What is R and what is F? R is the radius of curvature and F is the focal length. That relation we are going to discuss. Okay. So we are considering concave mirror, focus, and here, sorry, this is pole, no? Pole and ray parallel to principal axis passes through focus. Okay, that we know. So this point we can mark it as F. And if we draw perpendicular at this point, what happens? This perpendicular will be always the radius. No? Why it is radius? Because if you draw tangent, that at this point tangent will be perpendicular to radius. So we can say that if you draw perpendicular at this point, it will pass through center of curvature. So these laws of reflection are applicable not only for plane mirror, it is applicable for spherical mirrors also. So here we can, if we are marking this angle as theta, we can write this angle also will be theta because this is an incident ray. So this angle is angle of incidence. So this is reflected ray. So this angle also will be equal to theta. So if this angle is theta, we can write this angle as theta. This is 2 theta. So this angle will be 2 theta. Okay. Now we can consider tan theta can be written as tan theta is equal to MP by CP. Why we are considering the ray is very much closer to the principal axis. Since the ray is closer to the principal axis, this MP, this curve distance and this straight line distance almost will be equal. Okay. So we can write tan theta is equal to MP by CP and tan 2 theta is equal to MP by FP. And for small angles, we know that for small angles, tan theta can be approximated as theta. Automatically, we can write tan 2 theta is approximately equal to 2 theta. No? For small angles, because limit theta tends to 0, tan theta by theta is equal to 1. So we can write tan theta is approximately equal to theta and tan 2 theta is approximately equal to 2 theta. So that we can substitute here. So what we will get? 2 theta is equal to MP by FP and theta is equal to MP by CP. So we can substitute the value of theta in this equation. So what you will get? 2 into MP by CP is equal to MP by FP. So you will get 2 by CP is equal to 1 by FP or 2FP is equal to CP. That is 2 FP. FP is the focal length and CP is the radius of curvature. So we can write 2F is equal to R. So the relation is R is equal to 2. Radius of curvature is 2 times the focal length. Even though we derived it for concave mirror, it is applicable for convex mirror also. Radius of curvature is 2 times the focal length. Okay, clear? Sign convention. There are certain sign conventions that we follow to derive some relation between object distance, image distance and focal length. So there are certain sign convention. Which are those that we will discuss? All distances should be measured from all distances should be measured from pole. And second one, distances measured in the direction of incident light is distances measured in the direction of incident light are taken as positive and opposite are taken as negative. And next one, heights above the principal axis are taken as positive and below are negative. So here what it says, it's very simple. All distances are measured from the pole. So this is our, we are considering concave mirror. So when we are dealing with the, we discussed about focus, no, focal length for concave mirror. So here what it says, all distances are measured from the pole. So here when we are measuring the distance, we have to measure from the pole to F. Okay, that distance. Now, whether if you are keeping an object here, for example, okay, then we have to measure this from pole to the object. What is the distance? That is known as object distance. Okay, so all distances we have to measure from the pole. Okay, that only first part says, first one. It should be measured from the pole. And second one what says, distances measured in the direction of incident light are taken as positive. So here what is the direction of incident light? Incident light should be always, you have to keep the mirror on right side and light should be incident from left to right. Okay, so here this direction will be taken as positive. Light should be always incident from left to right. Okay, so this direction will be always taken as positive. Okay, that also we can measure right here actually. Light should be incident from left to right. So you may think that if a mirror is kept opposite direction, like image will not be formed. It is not like that. Image will be formed, no doubt at all. For our convenience, for easier calculation, we are assuming certain assumptions. Okay, is it clear? So light will be incident from left to right and this direction is taken as positive, and here we are measuring focal length between P and F, so we can write focal length will be negative for concave mirror. Okay, so we can say that for concave mirror focal length will be negative. Why it is negative? Because light is incident from incident light direction is taken as positive, so this direction is positive, and here we are measuring in opposite direction, so it will be positive. And opposite direction, so this will be negative. Opposite direction will be on the same direction, it will be positive. Here we are measuring in opposite direction, that's why focal length is negative. Similarly, heights above the principal axis will be positive, and for example if image is formed here like that, if it is there, if height is below the principal axis will be taken as negative. So actually it is like origin only, simply. Okay, so we can, if we are considering what happens if we are taking the origin. So in the case of origin, this part, this will be positive and this will be negative, here will be positive and here downward will be negative. Same way only we are telling you about. Is it clear? Okay, understood, no? So today we discussed about what is meant by loss of what is meant by reflection of light and what is meant by loss of reflection. And this loss of reflection is not only applicable to plane mirror, it is applicable to spherical mirrors also. Then we discussed two types of mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror, and we discussed the relation between radius of curvature and focal length of concave mirror. Even though we derived it for concave mirror, it is applicable for convex mirror also. R is equal to 2f, that relation. And later on we discussed about sign convention. Okay, is it clear?